Hi, my name is Sam. I'm the founder and CEO of Writesonic. First of all, thanks a lot for signing up to Writesonic and going through the onboarding. You've already selected the prompts and we have started collecting data for those AI answers. So your AI search report will be ready in the next few minutes. While that report loads, let me give you a quick walkthrough of the platform to help you make the most out of it. All right, so this is the very first screen that you'll see once your AI search report is ready. This is called the overview page. Here you'll come across these 5 key metrics that you should care about from an AI search perspective. And I'm taking an example of Deloitte here. Deloitte, if you know, it's a professional services consulting firm. So we are taking an example of Deloitte as a project here. Of course, you'll see your own brand here or one of your clients if you are an agency. So the very first metric here is called AI visibility score. What AI visibility means is, let's say if I'm tracking 100 prompts or 100 answers, what percentage of those answers mention my brand's name? So out of 100 prompts, let's say 58 answers talk about my brand or recommend my brand. That means I have a visibility of 58%. So in the case of Deloitte, they are tracking 20,000 answers, and out of that, 12,000 answers talk about Deloitte, which is why they have a 58.8% AI visibility. Second most important thing that we have here is citation share. So citation share basically tells you how much influence does your own content have over the prompts that you are tracking. So what that basically means is, let's say the blogs or the content that you own that are coming from your own domain or your own website, what percentage of those, again, those, let's say 100 answers, use your own content as a source. So in this case, 13% of those 20,000 answers use Deloitte's own content as a source, which is why they have a 13.3% citation share. The other thing that we have here is share of voice. So this is very similar to AI visibility, but this is basically a relative metric to tell you what's your market share compared to your competitors. So if I scroll down, you can also see this as a pie chart. So if you plot a pie chart and plot all of your competitors there with their respective visibilities, and you do a relative comparison, what percentage of the market does each of those brands own is what this share of voice metric tells you about. So in the case of Deloitte, 27% is their market share or their share of voice as compared to their competitors. So this is a relative metric, whereas AI visibility is an absolute metric. Then what we also have here is sentiment. That basically tells you how positively or negatively do the AI models talk about your brand. I won't go into too many details right now. You can of course go through our documentation later, but I'll try to cover all the main things very quickly. So the next thing that we have here is visibility trend. So this is basically a chart representation of how your competitors' visibility trends over time. So this is over a 7-day period, as I had selected 9th June to 15th of June as the date range. So this basically shows you the trends over time. And you can, again, at any point come here, hover over it and see how you're doing or your competitors are doing at any point of time. Then you can also filter by a specific topic that you want to filter. Prompt type, if you want branded versus non-branded prompts. And also we have 7 to 8 different AI models available. So by default, it shows you the data for all of them. But you can, of course, at any point come here and see data for a specific model as well, if that is what is important to you. Another quick thing to note, we take these prompts and we run them on a daily basis. So you'll also see the next time when we'll run those prompts. And usually it happens once per day at a specific time. So you can see when the next run is going to happen the next day. And the other thing here is also the prompt. So depending on which plan you are on, you can also see how many total prompts you have. And out of that, how many have you used up already. Next, if I scroll down, you can also see a platform-wise comparison on those same metrics. So how you do on ChatGPT versus Gemini versus, let's say, Google AI overviews. You can also see the sentiment data. What are the top terms or themes that these models associate with your brand? So red ones are the negative ones, where an AI model talks negatively about your brand, and green ones are where it's talking positively about your brand. Again, you can click on any of the items here and go deep into the data to see which specific prompts or which specific models on what date talked positively or negatively about your brand. So you can go into a lot of details here, but I'm just going through the main things right now. Share of voice I already covered. You can also see a distribution of rankings across those answers. Then you can also see the top cited content from your own website as well. So in this case, in the case of Deloitte, these are the top cited pages. You can see the citation share for those, how many answers are citing those pages, and go into the details. And then, of course, you can also see which are the prompts where your brand is being mentioned. So you have a good visibility score. And you can also see the prompts where your brand is not being mentioned, where your competitors are being mentioned. So you can again go into the very details here as much as you want. And what you can also see is the exact answers where your brand was mentioned or not mentioned. So in this case, let's say if I click on this one, I can see there are 49 answers. So I'll just click on 49 answers. It will take me to the all answers screen, which is where I can see all the prompts and all the answers for that specific prompt here. Now, let's say I wanted to see this specific one, like what did ChatGPT talk about my brand or my competitors for that prompt. So you just click on this, and this will show you the exact answer that we scraped from ChatGPT's UI on June 15th, right? And you can go and see the historical data as well. But this gives you a high-level overview on top. What are the search queries that were used, which is also called query fanouts? Is your brand visible or not visible? How many brands were mentioned? Sentiment, whether your own brand was cited or not cited. And then you can go and see the exact answer. And we also automatically highlight your own brand as well as competitors' brands using these tags as well. And then you can also see all the citations here, right? So you can go and check every single answer that we are tracking to get an understanding of how you are doing. Similar to search engine optimization, AI search optimization is also an iterative activity. So you need to make sure you are updating your prompts every few weeks based on how the market is evolving. On the sidebar here, if you see, there's a whole dedicated configure section here. Let's go to topics and prompts. Now, this is where you'll see the list of topics that you had selected during onboarding. You can go through them. You can also add a new topic as you need. Then if you click on any of those topics, you'll see the exact prompts that you again selected during onboarding. So these were the initial set of prompts that we had created. Now, one thing that is of utmost importance is you again go and review them, that all of them make sense. They are kind of what your potential customers might be searching for. And you need to keep on changing them and updating them as your product, as your market evolves. So at any point, you can click on this add prompt button over here, and we provide a variety of different methods by which you can add more prompts. So you can add a prompt manually. You can bulk upload some prompts. For example, if you're seeing some of your customers asking quite similar questions on your help desk or your support forums or your sales calls, those are some very good candidates for prompts here as well. Then you can also generate them from your SEO keywords. So for example, if your SEO team has made a strategy for this quarter, you can just take those SEO keywords, upload here, and it would generate new prompts, or it would actually source those prompts based on those keywords as a reference. And then you can also come up with prompts with AI as well. So a lot of different options here. At any point, if you don't like a specific prompt, you can at any point turn it off or delete it here as well. And you can again filter by different tags or different prompt types, branded, non-branded, and so on. The next thing that you can also configure is, again, going back to the sidebar, click on competitors. This will show you the list of competitors that you configured during onboarding. You might also want to add new competitors or remove competitors. So at any point, just go to suggested competitors. You'll see some recommendations already based on what kind of competitors are showing up in AI search results. So at any point, you can just click the track button to add that competitor to your tracking list. The next thing, of course, as I talked about, there's sentiment data here. You can go to the sentiment page. There are multiple subpages here to go into the very depths of sentiment itself and see the exact answer, the exact keywords, where it is positive or negative. If you are an e-commerce or a retail brand, you can also go into the shopping section to see how your actual products are being represented and how you compare with competitors on a product level. Then I'll also very quickly go to the citations page. This is one of the most important things because you want your own on-page content to have an impact on AI. So you can very well go here and see what are the top cited pages overall, from different brands, different competitors, third party. What is the distribution of citation sources? Like what percentage of it is owned, as in owned by you or your brand in this case? What percentage is coming from competitors? What percentage is coming from third-party websites? And then also social and forums. Social and forums being Reddit, Quora, all these kinds of platforms as well. You can go into the very depth of this data as well. You can also see at a domain level what are the top cited domains. You can also click on it. So for example, if I click on Reddit, I can see the overall citation share of Reddit or a specific domain as a whole. Also platform-wise, I can see that, okay, Reddit is being cited in Google AI overviews quite a bit, same for AI mode and ChatGPT, whereas for Microsoft Copilot, Grok, Gemini, not so much, right? And I can also see which specific pages from Reddit are being cited. Again, I can click on it to see the specific details about that page as well. And then also what are the prompts, what are the topics where Reddit is being cited as a source. What you'll also see here is citation opportunities. This tells you what are the pages which are being cited where your competitors are present, but your brand is not present. So you can then reach out to those blogs or those third-party websites and ask them to also include your brand name, and immediately it will increase your visibility. Then you can also see, again, the top cited content for your own brand. You can see a comparison across topics as well, like we saw for visibility earlier. Now again, Action Center is available based on which plan you're on. So if you're on the growth plan, you'll see some of those recommendations, like I think 5 recommendations you get every month across each of these different action items. If you're an enterprise plan, everything here would be unlocked for you. So very quick overview, we have divided this into 3 categories, very similar to how search engine optimization works. So we have off-page, which is getting external mentions. On page, boosting your own content visibility, and technical to fix any issues on your website, like crawling issues and so on. So you can come here. For example, one of the things I was talking about is getting mentioned on high authority third-party websites where your competitors are present, but you are not present. So this will give you a gap analysis and sort of like a sorted list of the exact set of blogs that you can reach out to get yourself mentioned there. So how many answers you missed, what are the platforms where this page is being cited in, which of your competitors are being already mentioned on that page. And then you can quickly click this button, draft an email, send it via your own email, and mark the status as completed. And then if you go to impacts and results tab, it will start tracking the impact of that action that you took there. So that is one of the things. Similarly, you can also see for UGC and community sites. So for example, you can see Clutch or Reddit and YouTube and all of these ones as well. You can basically, in this case, go and drop a comment or create a post on those specific forums and get yourself included there. So that's that. Again, you can see the same thing for new content opportunities, refresh opportunities, and so on. But that was a high-level overview of your Writesonic AI search dashboard. But yeah, this is where I would start on the overview page. And then once you have a good understanding here, you can go to Action Center. You can deep dive into some of these other sections and go into the very nitty-gritty as well there. And hope you enjoyed this, and we'll be having more detailed tutorials as part of the documentation. Thank you.